What's going on, guys? LA Legit here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be telling you the story about how I broke my wrist. What I'm going to try to do is at least once a week, I'm going to try and tell a story or have story time or something, because I think it's fun to tell stories, and I definitely have a lot of them. The Day I Broke My Wrist by Liam DeLong. It was on a Tuesday, I think. Yeah, it was definitely on a Tuesday in the summer, because I had the choice that day of either going to hockey or lacrosse. And now I wish that I picked lacrosse, but I picked hockey that day. So anyways, I went to hockey that night, and we were doing a summer league tournament thing, and I think it was the first period. I went on the ice, and there's this kid, I know, his name's Frank. He was skating along the boards with the puck, and I dove for it, and dove and slid for it, and I caught an edge right when I dove. So I just face planted and ran right into the boards, and my glove fell off when I slid, and say they saw the boards, just went right on the boards. So most people have a compound fracture like this on the boards, or for anything, but mine was like this. So it was compound fractured, I think, right here, and I didn't feel it at first, and I didn't think that anything happened. But then I got off the ice and went back to the bench, took my glove off, and I looked at it, and it was probably the size of my fist. Imagine that, right here though, and it was so swollen, and it started to hurt. So I was like, this thing really hurts. So I got off the ice, and I went and got my dad, and then we were looking at it together, and I was like, Dad, I think I broke my wrist. And he's like, all right, let's go to the urgent care. And not the hospital, just an urgent care doctor's office. So we get there, and we had to wait 30 minutes to an hour just to get in there to get me seen. And while I was sitting there, I took a picture of it, and disclaimer that this might be a little bit graphic, but my wrist is huge. I put a picture of it right here, and you can see it looks like this part right here, this part of your wrist that pops up, it looks like it moved to the other side of my wrist, but that was just the swelling of my wrist. So we get in there, they take an x-ray, and they look at it, and they see that it's just fractured. I didn't cleanly break my wrist, it was just a fracture. So they tell me, yeah, you fractured your wrist, you're gonna need a cast. So that night I got a splint in my hand, and they put it like this and molded it to my hand, so my hand was like that. And then they wrapped it, and then I went. And then this didn't happen during the summer. This happened the day before my 8th grade, graduation, I guess. It was the day before, third to last day of school. After school, I went to hockey. And the next day, I got a sling and everything. And the next day, I went to school, and just so many people. That's one thing I hate about getting injured or wearing, something, because you get asked so many questions at school, and I just tell everybody, and then oh wow, it must have hurt. But that night I put that picture that I showed you earlier on my Snapchat, and I just got so many things. I just told them, I was put on my story, I said I'll explain tomorrow. So then it sucked, because it was right at the start of summer, and the next day after my 8th grade graduation, we were going to Kings Dominion. And there was a water park there, and the cast that I got, because after 8th grade promotion, I had a doctor's appointment to go straight to the bone doctor, I forgot what they're called, and they gave me a cast, and I couldn't get waterproof yet because it was still swollen, and they didn't want the swelling to go down while I was in that cast, and then the cast move around and stuff. So they didn't put me in a waterproof cast, and the next day I went to Kings Dominion, and I couldn't go on any water slides or anything. And the one thing that sucked the most was a few weeks later, in between when I had the cast and everything, I had to get a I had to get this bag that I put over it just to go take a shower, or I went to the Disney water park, like Typhoon Lagoon, I think it is. And I had to wear this thing all day, and I had it taped up here, and on some of the rides they were like, no, you can't do it. I was like, come on, I got this thing. It just sucked so much. And I got invited to like a lot of pool parties like over the summer too, so I had to wrap it up every time I went to one of those, and that sucked even worse. So after I got the cast off, they made me wear this thing. It was like a let me go get it. Yeah, see, this is what they made me wear after. Like, you loosened it right here, and you spread it, and then you put your hand in it like this. Like this, and then this went over your thumb, like that, and then you tightened it with this thing. So I had to wear this, like, for I don't know how long, like, but what sucked is right after that, I had to go to a hockey camp, and I had to wear this at the hockey camp under my pads, and it was terrible. It was so bad. And we also, at that camp, we go to the pool, and I couldn't, I know I was allowed to take this off to get in the shower and stuff, but it was a pain putting on and off. So I think it all sucked, but I got through it, and my wrist is fine now, and I can do anything I want practically. This happened right before lacrosse, and I already paid and everything, and they wouldn't give us our money back because it didn't happen at lacrosse. Because it happened at hockey, a night that I could have been at lacrosse, and I could have avoided the entire situation. I was at hockey, so they wouldn't give us the money back for lacrosse. So basically, it all sucked, but it was okay. And yeah, so that was the time I broke my wrist by Liam DeLong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and peace.